Welcome back to the Homestead, everyone. I am so excited and blessed to be able to have purchased something recently that is going to give me the ability to produce something on my homestead that's going to be beneficial for the homestead. I have a ton of something laying all over my property and I need to get it taken care of. Let me show you what that is. Since we do have log style videos sometimes, if you want to see the full assembly of the wood chipper, head down to the description and hit the time code to skip ahead. If not, just hang out with me and we'll get to it in a few minutes. Well, of course, yes, it is a ton of downed trees that I fell because they were in the way of certain things on the property and they needed to come down. And then one or two of them were sick and just needed to come down and get out of the way. But now we've got just branches laying everywhere. Now, while I can take the trunks of the trees and produce firewood from it, well, if they're a good tree. I got a lot of pine and sweet gum and those are terrible to burn. But the branches I had nothing to do with before this point, and we bought this new chipper shredder, and I'm gonna put it together and I'm gonna tell you why we chose this brand. Now this is a massive blessing that I'm able to purchase one of these to produce those wood chips. We use a ton of wood chips here on the property for the garden, for fruit trees, mulching different things. So we have saved up for 5 years and we're able to purchase one of these. Now this isn't the most expensive one on the market, but it is a quality one. And I trust this brand. POWERHORSE is from Northern Tool, and I have their power washer and I've used other equipment from them, and it's really good quality. And the thing is they've got a massive competitive warranty on this thing, you know, along the lines of a DR chipper. Now, DR chippers are well known and they're high quality, but I could not justify paying 2 times as much, or almost 3 times as much actually, for the same machine. Now DR does have a smaller machine, much smaller than this one. It does 3-inch, this one does 4-inch, and this is a chipper shredder. This one does 4-inch, their 3-inch doesn't, I don't think it had a chipper shredder, but it was maybe $200 or $200 more than this one. But another reason is I have a Northern Tool, which is where this is sold. I have that near me, and I can take it there if I have any service problems. So let me go over some of the specifications on this model because those specs are some of the reasons that we bought this one. All right, reason number 1, 13x5 big knobby tires. A lot of the other ones had those skinny little bicycle type tires. This one is actually pneumatic. It's a pneumatic tire and it is big. So I can take this to other parts of the property really easily. And that's another spec on this, is that it's got a tow hitch. So it's got a boom and a tow hitch on it. So I can pull it with the tractor or the ATV or whatever it may be and move it around really easily all over the property, so I can get to those big piles that have actually left everywhere all over the property, those big piles of branches. So I talked about the warranty earlier, and this is a 24-month consumer warranty on this, which is really good. It's comparable to others. It is a huge 420cc engine, which is spinning the flywheel at 3,600 RPM. So again, it is comparable to the others. I think that's the same as the DR, and that is going to give you a much better chip on some tougher woods like we have, like sweet gum. And check this out. It's got an electric start. And check this out. It's got a bag. It's several bushels that you can use when you're shredding. I don't know if it would be good for chipping. How tough that bag is, it didn't feel very tough. So if you're chipping, stuff's shooting out into it, I don't know if it's going to rip it up pretty easily, but I'm probably not going to use that anyway. But it's a cool little feature if you're in a more suburban area and you need it for that. So the cool thing about this, on sale right now for $760. I think it's normally like $830, and I think the DR comparable DR one is over $1,000, I believe. But anyway, it's got a great price point to it. And like I said, I've got other equipment from Northern Tool and flawless. No problems with it at all. I'm so excited. Let's put this thing together so I can start chipping. So I paused the camera for a few minutes to take a look at the instructions, and it's not rocket science, no. However, these are probably one of the worst instructions I've ever seen. As an architect, if I produced a set of plans like this for a client, I would get fired. I'd never have another job. Why do they produce these? These are absolute garbage. But like I said, it's not rocket science. Let's just put the thing together. Okay, first thing we need to do is tip this whole unit up, and we're going to take out these 4 bolts first. We're going to slide under the axle hitch assembly and attach it. Then after that, we're going to put the front foot on, and then we'll come back to the back and we'll put the wheels on. Here we go. We're going to put on the front leg. What we're going to need to do is push this up and tip it up so you can align these 2 holes at the top of the front leg with these 2 holes at this point right here on the body of the machine. Make sure your chute comes through the center. And this long bolt right here, which with this sleeve on it, is what the body sits on. And I don't know if that's supposed to be in the front or the back. It really doesn't indicate in the instructions. So we're going to put it in towards the front and call it good. Okay, I've tipped it up here. Be very careful that it doesn't rock back and fall backwards. We're going to pull this chute down like this. Now the chute also has 2 holes in it, and all these holes are going to align. The holes with the leg, the holes with the chute, and the holes with the body. You might need a second pair of hands to do this, or somehow put a jack under here to hold it up. So this is how I've attached it and put it on. This spacer here is to keep everything from compressing as you tighten it on. Then the chute comes down through the middle of the front leg. From there we can put our front chute cover on, and that kind of just threads through up here at the top underneath this lip, and it hangs on these 2 little bolts here that are actually welded into the sides. They've got nuts on them. And then on the side down here, you've got another 13 mil, and you're going to have to get your hand up under and in here to actually put it on, but that's no big deal. So right here on the side, your hand, it's plenty of room to get your hand up in there and feel around and get that bolt on. All right, time to get the tires on the axles. So obviously stem outwards, and we've got this 13 mil bolt with 2 washers on it, a lock washer and a regular washer. You're gonna have to use some force to rock this up. It's pretty heavy, so you might need another set of hands to get these on. Just slide it on, tighten the bolt down. So in my opinion, this tiny little washer here, that's all that's holding on this tire, is not wide enough. So if you want to buy another washer that's wider, I'd probably recommend doing that. Okay, next step, mounting the battery box. Now, it comes with the battery. You take the battery cover off, and we're gonna mount the box right here next to the hopper. Well, what do you need to do that? You need to take these 2 bolts out of the hopper. Now, you can either take both bolts out and just mount your battery box, or let me show you something that's going on over here. So as you can see, that's the wiring package for the whole unit, and it's zip tied in there. Now, to get my cutters in there to try and cut that zip tie, I am really not sure that I want to go in there and try to clip that and not clip a wire. So I may just take off this whole hopper. Since I'm already going to have 2 bolts out anyway, I'm going to take off the whole hopper so I can get to this wiring package and actually unravel it and get it out of there. It's pretty tightly packaged in there. Now this area has a lot of rubber washers to dampen the vibration, so make sure you just put them back on in the exact same order that you took them off. This gives me a great opportunity to show you the blades and all the chipping hammers. This thing has a ton of chipping hammers compared to some other brands. There's a wiring harness or wiring package that I need to get out of here. So here's what we needed to bring out were the battery cables. So we've gotten those out of there, and now we can put the hopper back on. And when you're putting this hopper back on, don't forget to put your battery box on, which the lip to the battery box sits on top of that hopper lip. put your bolts through there. So once you've got your battery box on and the hopper reattached, you're going to run your battery cables around, and there's a little hole in the side here. Run them through there, and of course, just attach your battery cables. And then tighten down the cover to the battery box. Now it's time to put on the feed chute. It just attaches to these 3 bolts right here on the side. And to put the handle on the top hopper here, all you need to do is have one of the 4 bolts. The nuts are actually cast into the side already, so just align it and tighten them down. And of course, you've got your trailer hitch boom here. It's gonna just sit in the bottom, and it attaches with a pin and a cotter pin. All right, let's get this baby full of fluids and start her up. So time to fill it with fluids, of course, oil first and then gas. So our fill plug for our oil is here in the front, and the actual dipstick is in the rear here. So here's the dipstick. Now it doesn't tell you exactly how much oil to put in it. It just says fill it until it hits the full mark here on the dipstick. And just use a 30 weight oil, whether it be 5W30 or 10W30. I'm gonna make an assumption this will take somewhere around a quart, but we'll see. So I was correct, 1 quart will fill this up. She's ready to go. Let's wheel her out and get her started. Well, she fired right up. Now let's give it a test run. So I've got some little stuff here, and then I've got one that's about 2 3/4 inch, and I'm just gonna start with this. Look at that, here's the result. They said it was gonna chip to about 1/4 inch, and that is definitely 1/4 inch. And there's some smaller pieces in there, which are probably all those twigs and leaves that I put through the hopper at the top, the shredder part. So I'm super excited and blessed, like I said before, to have this thing, because that is a huge job that needs to get done here on the homestead. And it's going to be very beneficial for all of my plants and trees and things like that. And we hope this video was helpful for you in the assembly of this thing, because honestly, the instructions are total garbage. But that does not take away from the quality of the item itself. Now go check out this video right here, which is our review of the brand new 2021 Toro Titan Max. Have a great day. We love you. See you next time. Bye.